Hello and welcome to the Back Nine Report. My name is Carlos Torres, and every week, alongside Fred Alvader, we bring you the latest in the world golf news. Fred, hi, how are you today?
Hey, Carlos. As you know, I'm up here in Michigan, and we got some snow again last night. It snowed most of the day up until about 3 o'clock today. None of it stuck on the ground, but it's still not spring here yet in Cadillac. But I enjoyed watching the Masters this weekend, Carlos. I'm like emotionally exhausted here. I may have to fall asleep, take a nap during the show. It was so tiring, so stressful watching the Masters. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I mean, what a Masters Sunday we witnessed. I mean, we were texting back and forth, and one you said, "I'm exhausted," and I was like, "Yeah, me too. I can't handle this anymore." I mean, it was amazing. One of the best finishes we've ever seen. I mean, history was
It was
made.
like NASCAR. It was one car wreck after another, man.
Yeah, you were just waiting for the big one, right? And then it
Yeah.
happened. And what's going to happen now? My God, no, Rory was just a roller coaster. But he's finally a Masters champion and a career Grand Slam winner. His final round, like I said, it was a roller coaster of emotion. He started steady. Oh my God, he's just going to cruise. He's going to do it. He has it. But then, he stumbled a bit with a bogey in 11. Okay, that's fine. I mean, it's okay. But then he double bogey 13. After which they put on the
Easiest
screen.
hole on the golf course.
Yeah, and then they put on the screen something that is like an omen, right? They said no Masters winner has ever overcome four four double bogeys in a tournament. I text you and I said like, oh my God, it's done. Whenever they put something like that, it's gone. That's it. He lost. There's no, and then that sounded like an omen. And right then, on cue, a bogey in 14. So it's like he's done. Definitely, he's just gonna go down the hill. Nothing's gonna look good here.
And
Darn
while
right.
all
Then,
this is happening, Rose is posting 11 under and in the clubhouse.
yeah, he went nuclear from Emin corner on. It was incredible. It's just game on. When he finished, Justin was the Masters champion waiting at the range. He was like, let me just practice just in case something happens. And wow, incredible. I mean, Rory then birdie 17, which makes him okay. We got it. He has it. That's
Got
done.
a shot to play
All
with
he,
on
all he
18.
has
He
to
said,
do is
okay,
do 18, walk it off,
make a
do a par.
par.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's all you have. But oh my God, his approach. It's like just put it in the center of the green. What else do you have to do?
He
Just put it
can't play.
in.
He can't play conservative. He cannot do it. He has to go full out. He cannot play conservative.
So he hit the bunker. Now, okay, he does a good out. He has a 5 foot putt that he would make 9.5 times out of 10. So guess what? He hit the high percentage massively past the right side. So we have to play at 18 again between Rory and Justin. Both hit the fairway off the tee. Very good. But man, Rory had me scared for a second. He stood on top of that tee shot. To me, it seemed like an eternity there. Are you going to hit it? Had me scared for a second. But then Justin hit a great approach. I was like, oh my God, he can do birdie from there. Rory better do something, put it something close or something like that. And guess what? He hit a cold-blooded approach that had the crowd erupting. Where was that approach on 17 hole? Where? I mean, Rory, what happened? You could have done that one hole before and we would be done. But hey, Justin missed. Rory didn't secure his first Masters title.
Justin had an 8 iron in from 150 yards, and Rory hit a gap wedge from like 125. He was 25 to 30 yards ahead of Justin on that hole on 18
Yeah,
on
no,
the playoff.
it was ridiculous, ridiculous. But hey, he completed the career Grand Slam one hole late, but he did it and joined an elite group of only 6 players in history to do that, including Tiger Woods and Jack Nicklaus. So it was his first major since 2014. Man, 11-year drought and 14 years since that Masters collapse in 2011. It's incredible. When he said it was 14 years in the making, I was like, oh my God, it's been 14 years, but 11 has been since his last major. It was visibly emotional. Fred shared how heartfelt moments with his family. He was reflecting on his journey. And of course, golf icons, including Tiger Woods, praised him for his achievement. Woods even expressed pride and welcomed him to the exclusive club of Grand Slams winners.
Yeah, it's a big deal. When you're one of only six guys that have done this, and the names, they're pretty good names. Gary Player, Gene Sarazen, Ben Hogan, Jack Nicklaus. You don't see Arnold Palmer up there. You don't see Greg Norman up there. You don't see Tom Watson up there. That's and it's he's only won five majors, which is really, to me, that's really underachieving for Rory. Going 11 years without winning any majors. That's I just I go back. I keep referring back to 2019 for him because he was at the peak right then, and then 2020 hit. He was set to have a tremendous year in 2020, and then COVID hit, and it just all went away. And he's been struggling to get back to that kind of a form for the last 4 or 5 years. He's coming around. I mean, he's look what he's won this year. My goodness, he's won at Pebble. He won at TPC Sawgrass, and now he wins at Augusta. He's won the three biggest events so far this year, almost. So he is really on course. But Carlos, there was a guy by the name of Charles Dickens wrote a book one time. There's a line in there with, "It was the best of times, it was the worst of times." That sums up Rory's whole Masters experience. Four double bogeys. Two, he was cruising on Thursday in the first round, cruising. And all of a sudden, a double bogey on 15 and another double at 17 wipes out his 4 under round, and he ends up even. So he's 8 shots behind Justin Rose after the first day. Now, we all know Justin's not going to carry that on. And, so he struggled and he came back to earth a little bit, and everybody caught up to him. But we had eagles, we had birdies, we had bogeys and doubles. Oh my. I mean, it was unbelievable. You just couldn't turn away from the TV because you didn't know what was going to happen next. And Sunday was just, it was so stressful, Carlos. I was serious. I was exhausted after that round. I mean, it took so much out just watching that. And we've talked about this before. Rory is always on full go. There's no holding back. You never know what you're going to get. He's like a box of chocolates. You never know what he's going to get because he's going to be aggressive the whole time. And when he does try to play conservative, it just seems not to work for him. He can't seem to pull it off. So I, you know, I really enjoyed this year's Masters. I watched Thursday, Friday, Saturday ends. I watched pretty much all of it, all but a few shots. And Rory played fantastic. Uh, and every time he found adversity, he figured out a way to get back. Just get back. What a great storyline for golf and for life, right? Something knocks you down, you got to get yourself back up and get going. And he did it every time. That shot on 17, after making, a mess of 16 and 15, all the way up through there, that shot was amazing to get back, to get a shot lead again, going to the last hole. And then he hits the worst shot in the world into 18 green and goes in the right hand bunker. It reminded me of Greg Norman when he had a shot to win the Masters one time, and he was, similar. Only thing, I think Greg was hitting probably a 5 iron or a 4 iron because they didn't hit it nearly as far as they do today, instead of a gap wedge like Rory was hitting. But Greg came up and out of it and hit that right bunker and failed to make and made bogey and lost the tournament. But it's amazing to me, all the ups and downs. Kudos to Justin Rose, who played steady the whole week, beginning with that 64 on Thursday, and then he was 7 under again for a 65, the low round of the day on Sunday. Just phenomenal stuff at 44, 45 years old. The only problem is I think that this might have been his last best shot to win the Masters, and it would be great to see him win one. Even if Rory would have lost and Justin would have won, I could have justified that because it would have been nice to see Rosie get one. But if Rory would have lost that again like that, I don't know what that would have done to him. Oh my goodness, that would have been awful. So I want to mention too, Bryson DeChambeau. He played really well. The guy's won 2 U.S. Opens, so he can play a little bit, right? We don't get to see him anymore because he's playing LIV golf. But the guy, if he was on the PGA Tour, he'd be as big as Arnold Palmer was. I mean, people love him now. He is universally loved and revered and followed, and people root for him and pull for him. And he's truly showing himself to be a really good guy. I like his personality now. I really like the way Bryson is going about stuff. So, Carlos, one more thing I'm going to say about Rory, and I'm going to turn it back over to you quick. But the wedges killed him still. All the work he has done with the wedges, the putting was solid, the long game was solid, the irons were solid, the wedges, not so much. When he's got a wedge in his hand, it's a 50-50 deal whether he's going to hit a good shot or even hit the green. And so he's got to figure out this wedge game, Carlos, if he wants to do the things that he needs to do to build the legacy, build on the legacy that he's got going.
He's trying. He's trying. I mean, he did some two low-key equipment changes, and I think they have quietly laid the groundwork for his success. And one of them is that he switched to his new tailor-made QI10 LS driver. And that was just 2 weeks before the Masters. So that is a low spin model designed for the high-speed players like Rory. It gives him more control without sacrificing distance. He dialed in a slightly lower 8.5, so he altered the shaft to match his tempo better, which helped him keep the ball in play off the tee. I think that was a crucial stat for him. Where missing fairways, it can be deadly. And I caught him saying in an interview that it was the first time in years that he has felt totally synced up with the driver. And he said it's doing exactly what I expect. And we can see he was really, really hitting the driver really good. Now he did some wedge adjustments. He made a bounce and grind adjustment to his 50 and 56 and 60 wedges. So he's switching to a grind, which is better suited for Augusta, the tight lies and fast shaped rounds areas. So that change giving a more versatility. It may not have resulted in better hits, but especially on the pitches and the chips where controlling spin was essential. And you can see it there on that 18. He was in control of that. It wasn't easy. It looked easy the way that he came out of that bunker. So I think that that was a good adjustment for him. But one thing that I see from him, and I'll move from him, is that I was asked, what does this mean now for him? What can you expect moving forward? And I believe now that we can expect him more confident. He might be loser Rory in the majors. He's now back in the conversations of possibly chasing down number 6, number 7, maybe more majors. I mean, in legacy wise, you mentioned something very, very important. I mean, this win transforms him from what it's an underachiever with 4 majors. That was his title basically, to one of the greatest of his era, the first European player to
Completely
complete.
flips the script for him.
Yeah, and
Pressure's off. He might go on a tear and win 5 of the next 10 majors.
yeah, very easily we can see that hitting the 10 mark. And I can't wait. And one of the things that I told who asked me that, I said, like, I can't wait to see Scotty Scheffler as his best A game and Rory at his A game. Seeing that on a Sunday, that would be amazing. But for
Let me
Justin,
ask you a question, Carlos.
go ahead.
So Rory is 35. I think Scotty is 27. Scotty has the 2 Masters, is all. But he's quite a bit younger than Rory. Um, who has more Masters, or who has more majors at the end of their career?
Oh, wow. That's a very interesting question because with Rory now, like you're saying, flipping the script, it's going to be interesting to see who really is going to be, because when Rory's on, there's nobody that beats him. But Scotty really is, his consistency is amazing. And he didn't have his A game. And
He's still not back to 100% from that injury in December. He's still not back yet.
yeah, he's still not, and he was showing up the leaderboard. It's incredible. And for Justin Rose, 43 years old, I mean, he had us at the edge of our seats. I think he played very smart, strategic golf, suited for Augusta. Just 1 or 2 missed putts here and there, and he would have won this. I think it's if anything, is an inspiring run for the veterans. And for Bryson, tale of two halves, right? Saturday he had in contention, Sunday collapse, erratic drives. But one thing that I think is kind of expected, right? He needed to put some pressure and try to catch Rory. That's not where he's at his best. He tries to do that, but it looked like it was a little mental fatigue. And when he tries to do that, he starts driving all the way and poor
I was
putting.
kind of concerned that pairing, Bryson and Rory, that Bryson would maybe outdrive Rory and Rory would start pressing and start hitting it all over the lot. I was a little concerned about that when I saw they were going to be paired together.
Yeah, very few people can say I'll hit it farther than Rory. Bryson is that guy, but definitely he still doesn't have that mind to try to let that final round come to him. If he would have done that, he would have been there and possibly be able to compete to win in that back line.
Bryson's issue, I didn't really even feel it was a problem with his driver or his iron play. I really felt it was again with his wedges. If you noticed, uh, he hit either long or short with his wedges a lot. He had maybe 50% of the time he had the wedge in the proximity of where he wanted it. About half the time, he was either too long and over the back of the green or too short on the very front of the green or just short. He was not controlling the distance with his wedges very well. And that's not a good recipe for Augusta National.
No, he's not. But maybe, I don't know. He's always the thinker, right? So he has been developing a new golf ball through a partnership that he has with LA Golf. He's an investor and a collaborator there. So he has created what is called a multi-layer golf ball that maintains consistent spin, launch, and flight, regardless of the temperature, humidity, altitude. So his thought is this can go across all different types of conditions. That's his belief. He says that it will flatten the variables, helping elite players maintain consistent numbers across locations, something he claims current tour balls can't always deliver. Maybe, I don't know. It's still in advanced prototype stages, but if it lives up to the claims, it definitely could disrupt how golf balls are developed and even start a trend in custom ball fitting. I don't know. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's a good question. Bridgestone has made a big deal the last several years about getting fit for your right golf ball, and there's a lot of different golf balls out there on the market. So if you got a swing speed of under 110 miles an hour, it doesn't matter. All the balls that are on the market are good for you. Maybe you like the Titleist Pro V1X more than the Titleist Pro V1, or you like a TaylorMade 5 better than a Srixon or or one of the other ones. But when you're up at 125 plus mile per hour swing speed, there could be some variables in golf balls without question. And imagine if Tiger had a better golf ball than the old Nike golf ball. That was like the worst ball in the world, those old Nike golf balls. And he played with that thing and won with it. So I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if he really played Nike golf balls. They had Nike on them. But I wouldn't be surprised me if they were something else and they painted them. I don't know. But because Nike golf balls were terrible. They were crap.
Horrible, horrible.
Yeah, yeah. But I like playing with top flights. So yeah, I don't know, Carlos. We'll see. Interesting to see. There's a lot of stuff going on in golf. AI has kicked a lot of stuff up, new manufacturing ways and processes and things. So it'll be curious to see what happens.
So other performances worth mentioning, Scotty Scheffler, we talked about it, another top five. Didn't have his say stuff, but continues to
Ho
be,
hum didn't play well, just a top five.
yeah, and but he continues to be that model of consistency. Patrick Reed, wow, the mix early, faded late, still solid performance for an LIV guy. Sung J M was one that was like quietly putting together a strong week. Augusta seems to suit his calm demeanor. Ludwig Aberg, I mean, for me, I was like, oh my God, he's there, tied for the lead. Oh my God, he's here. But then, he couldn't, he struggled under pressure. But still, he has a huge promise. Look out for him. Sander Schauffele, Jason Day, both with top 10 finishes. They seem like kind of lurking this season, in and out the top leaderboards. Zach Johnson, my goodness, respectable week for another veteran. Didn't contend, but hey, he made the cut and played solid. And hey, top 10, amazing. The LIV guys had a mixed bag. decent showing. Some of them, a couple made noise. No one really better than Rory, but still their presence was felt. So we saw that they can still hang on with golf's biggest stages. Now, my biggest disappointment, John Ram. My goodness, he never got in rhythm. Sunday was too late for him. Colin Morikawa, your guy, his game looked off all week. I mean, it was like something was missing. He tried, but something was missing. Victor Hovland started good, but then all of a sudden he misses a cut. Surprising given his recent form and trusting Jordan Speed. To me, I was waiting more from him. That Augusta magic wasn't there this year, Fred.
Same with Justin Thomas. Just never happened for Spieth or Thomas, either one. Carlos, I got some other notes for the week I want to just go over real quick here. 17 and 18 played the hardest I've ever seen. It seemed like almost every player in the field made bogey at one or the other, and several bogeyed both to mess up good rounds. Bernhard Langer and Freddie Couples came through there. They just needed to make pars on 17 and 18 to make the cut, and they bogeyed them. I've never seen as many bogeys on 17 and 18. They were really playing tough, and it was good weather, so it wasn't a weather thing. It was just, I don't know what the deal is. I get the historical aspect of the different pin position on number 16 on Sunday to commemorate Jack's 1975 birdie and win over Tom Weiskopf and Johnny Miller. But I like the old traditional spot back down at the bottom of the hill where the ball rolls down and get close. I don't like it up there on top of the hill. Augusta Weather was basically perfect. Best players in the world can only manage 11 under par for 72 holes. Even after 89 years, Carlos, Augusta National Golf Course holds up pretty good. Ludwig, you mentioned him. He's going to win several Masters, and in just 2 starts, he's been in contention in both. Runner-up last year and top 10 again this year. Hell of a player, and Augusta suits his game. Real quick on Bryson, I tell you, Bryson's probably the 3rd or 4th best player in the world right now. If he were playing on the PGA Tour and the way he plays to the crowd and the fans respond to him, he would be huge on the PGA Tour right now. Corey Connors, we haven't mentioned him yet, had a great tournament. Tremendous ball striker, great off the tee. Seemed like every drive, middle of the fairway, every iron on the green, can't putt hardly a lick. If he could putt just a little bit, just 50% better, he would have won by 3 shots. He played the best of anybody, but he putted terribly. So, Carlos, do you see Rory overtaking Scotty sometime this year as the #1 player in the world?
I think so because I still think Scotty has a couple more months to get back to that world beater form. It's just he's still he's still finishing top 5 in the top 10s and all that, but it's not still quite there. And that was the one question that we had is after this injury that he suffered, how long will it take him? Because it took him some years to achieve that form that he has. So that's not just going to come right away, So no, I truly think Rory finishes the year as #1.
One more question. So this was a phenomenal Masters, and we're going to remember this for a long, long time, right? So think back to Jack Nicklaus winning in 1975 versus Johnny Miller and Tom Weiskopf, one of the great Masters of all times, widely considered maybe the best major of all time. 1986, Jack won again at the age of 46, his 6th Masters victory. Tiger in 1997, he shot a 40 on the front 9 on Thursday, ends up winning the tournament by 12 shots. Okay, fantastic. 1997 Masters, fantastic event. 1987, Larry Mize chipped in at the 11th, the second playoff hole at number 11 to beat both Greg Norman and Seve Ballesteros. Great, great finish. I could see it. It's plain as day in my head. Watching him, that ball hit the, and that's straight downhill on 11 to the water. He scrubbed the hit into the hill a little bit, scrubbed it off, and just ran right in the hole. In 1986 or 1996, Greg Norman's collapse lost 6-shot lead to Nick Faldo on the final day. Where do you rate Rory's win this year with these great Masters from previous years?
It was great, but I don't consider it an all-time great. It was a very entertaining Masters, but personally to me, I know it's not yours because uh, but to me, the best is in 1986, Jack Nicklaus winning at age 46. I mean, he turned back time with that 65. Those birdies 13, 15, 16, and 17. Oh my goodness, 46 years old, the oldest Masters winner ever. And those roars and Augusta Day, not even Tiger when he won the last time. That's still a match. And the yes, sir, from Vern Lindquist and the birdie putt for 17. That was amazing. I got chills just right now, just remembering that. And then Tiger to me on 97, the first major. Oh my God, 12 strokes at 21 years old. It was the beginning of the Tiger era. He changed the game forever there. I cannot forget that.
I got a story, quick story for you. 1986, a friend of mine was having a party for his, like, I don't know, 25th or 30th wedding anniversary or something, and so we had to go. It was an hour away from home. So by the time we got up there and went to the party and got home, I missed the whole 1986 Masters, right? Only thing I've seen is clips and watched some replays and stuff over the years. I completely missed that. That is one of my deepest regrets that I was not able to see that thing live. I just couldn't believe that Jack won it. And I've watched clips and different stuff over the years, but man, I missed that one. Carlos, let's talk. So real quick, before we get out of the Master stuff, the TV ratings were through the roof. 12.71 million viewers on the average for the final round, for the final day. The audience peaked at 19.5 million viewers. It's up 33% over last year. And it's way up. I mean, you can go back 10 years probably to get anything any bigger. So even in Europe, it was like 1.85 million on Sky Sports, in addition to what we had here in America. So triple digit viewership growth on streaming on Paramount Plus. So across every platform, this year's Masters was through the roof on people watching. The LIV doesn't get those kind of numbers, Carlos.
Well, the LIV doesn't have Rory McIlroy. It shows you that if there's somebody that moves the needle besides Tiger Woods, is Rory McIlroy. Definitely, that proves it. So with that, let's move on to a few quick subject titles that we're going to talk about. The LPGA will have their first major next week. That's the Chevron Championship. It's just a week and a half away. I can just the top storylines we can mention. Lily Vu, can she defend? I mean, she's become a very dominant force, so I'm looking forward to that. Nelly Corda, she's back from injury in great form, could stamp her comeback with a major win. Rose Chang, I love that girl. She plays so amazing. She's every major is a chance for her. I'm waiting for that breakthrough. Fans are waiting for that first big one. And Ying Young Ko and Lydia Ko, always dangerous, and both are trending upward. So I think that venue change last year has added spice. We'll see how players continue adjusting to this new layout, Fred.
Yeah. So last year, Lydia won, or I mean, Nelly won this. It was her fifth straight LPGA Tour victory at the Chevron last year. She won it by 2 shots over Maja Stark. This event began in 1972. It was played in Southern California. In 1983, it became a major. It was a Dinah Shore back then. Over the years, it's been called the Dinah Shore, the Nabisco, the Kraft Nabisco, and the Anna Inspiration while I was in California. And then in 2021, Chevron signed a 6-year deal with the LPGA to host it and end up moving it to Houston, to the Woodlands. And they bumped the prize fund up to $5 million. So it's a pretty big purse, which it should be. It's a major, so that's good. This year will be another strong field at the Chevron next week. Prior winners here, Lily Vu won in 23 and Jennifer Kupcho won in 22. So coming into the first major of the year for them, winners so far this year on the LPGA, Madeline Sagstrom, Hooju Kim, Rio Takada, Lydia Ko, Angel Yin, Yalami Noah, and A. Lim Kim have all won so far this year. The top 10 rankings, Carlos, I was looking at this today, and it's a little surprising to me. There's only one Korean in the top 10 of the women's Rolex ranking. Nelly Corda, of course, tops the list. Gino Thediku, Lydia Ko is 3, Hannah Green from Australia, Runan Ying, Ayaka Fury from Japan, Angel Yin, Hyren Ryu from Korea was the only one, and then Charlie Hall from England is number 10. So early coverage will be broadcast all 4 days next week on Peacock, and then later over on Golf Channel, Carlos.
Yeah, definitely. And I can't wait to look at that. And what you mentioned, just one South Korean in the top 10. They used to have half of that. It's amazing. And we were talking, I remember, oh my God, this is just gonna be maybe a top 10 from them. They could do a whole international team against
They,
everybody
they could have done 2 Olympic teams with top 10
easily,
players.
easily, and maybe win gold and silver. Uh, I next thing that we're going to talk about, the equipment industry has a shake-off because of the tariffs that are incoming. I mean, new tariffs on imported golf gear are affecting clubs, bags, apparel, and even balls made overseas, particularly from China, Vietnam, and Taiwan. So major brands like Callaway, TaylorMade, and Titleist could see rising costs, potential supply chain disruptions, and delay new products rollouts could come with that. Uh, if you ask, okay, so what is the impact on the everyday player? Well, prices could go up, especially on premium gear. So mid-level and budget gear may become the sweet spot for shoppers now. So we may see also a shift, and I think this could be the it is towards a made in the USA branding as a selling point. So for the big picture to me, the golf industry will adapt, but casual players might feel it in their wallets this season.
Yeah, so the only things that are going to go up, the only clubs that are going to go up because of the Trump's tariffs that he's implementing to other countries, is pretty much all of them, because they're all made outside the United States. Um, uh, and golfers are going to have to pay more. Clubs have gotten pretty expensive over the years. PXG came out when they came out with their $7,000, $8,000 sets. Everybody, oh my goodness, who's going to pay that? Well, people did. And so everybody else, the rising tide raises all boats. Well, everybody else kept raising their prices too. So it's pretty tough to spend less than about 4 or 5 grand for a set of clubs today. The only exception to this, Carlos, is Tour Edge, which is made in the United States. And they're a company out of Chicago. Bernard Longer has made them popular by winning with them on the Champions Tour. They've always made the exotic shaft, which is a fantastic shaft. It's always been one of the best shafts in golf, and their hybrids are second to none. So I've got a driver that I like that I've got from them. So what's made in the U.S.? Well, very little. As I mentioned, Tour Edge is about the only thing. Everything, even if they are assembled here, the raw materials come from outside the country. So it's going to be built into the price, even though it may be put together here. It's still got to get stuff from outside the country. And also, one other thing, Carlos, I want to talk about is that in 2023, another area that's going to be affected is golf travel. And guys going to Ireland and to Scotland and to France or Italy or wherever they're going to play, Asia, Korea. Um, in 23, Americans spent 41 billion in European travel, with that number increasing to 45 billion last year, 2024. So there's a concern among European golf resorts, especially those in Scotland and Ireland, that the cost of travel to these countries may become too expensive for Americans to go there and play. So tariffs, economic instability, political fallout could discourage American travelers, threatening not only luxury golf tourism, but also sponsorship deals and tournament attendance across Europe, Carlos.
Oh, that certainly would. And of course, that's one thing that we'll be watching closely and report as soon as we know more about it. But expect some price hikes on across the board. Hey, Fred, flash news announced today the 2028 Olympics will feature the mixed team golf event, men and women paired up to represent their country. So tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, the IOC today announced the addition of the Olympic golf mixed team event to debut in 2028 in LA. It's going to complement the men's Olympic and the women's individual Olympic golf competitions, and they'll all be competed at, played at Riviera Country Club in LA. The mixed team event will be contested as a 36-hole event, 2 days. It's going to be held the 2 days between the men's and the women's tournament. Okay. and it's going to be made up of players that are already there. So one man and one woman from each team, just one team per country. There's no, so it's not like where the American have 3 men and the women have 3 women on the individual. No, it's just one team from each country. So maybe you'll see Scotty Scheffler and Nelly Korda, for example. Maybe you'll see Rory McIlroy and McGuire from Ireland, maybe, something like that. That would be kind of cool, actually, right? And it's going to be, like I say, 36 holes. They're going to play alternate shot on the first day. They're going to play 4 ball on the second day. And then right after that, then the women's competition will start. So something new for the Olympics. Golf has been, the individual competition has been so successful since they started in 2016 in Rio. They're going to add a team event.
Yeah, I mean, it brings a new fun dynamic to the Olympic format, which, I'm a very big fan of the Olympics. It actually will showcase some team chemistry and gender inclusivity. So it's going to be between them with something we don't see enough. I would like to see like a mixed event at some point. It's some excitement and another chance for an underdog nation to win a medal, because that's specifically what this would present for. Now, I actually see it also maybe just thinking from the devil's advocate, right? This is, oh my God, another event on an already jam-packed schedule. Could wear down the top players just before or after majors. Some may see it as a sideshow rather than a serious competition, especially because you just have one team from each country. So it's not like, okay, I can just try to pair this player and this other player on this team, this other player, and maybe try to bring some other players from nations that actually don't have uh, representatives so far in the men's or the women. So I've seen that there's some mixed reactions, largely positive. Some see it as a great opportunity to represent their country in a new way. So I expect an enthusiastic buy-in, especially from the younger stars on both tours. So, Fred, any final closing words?
No, I'm trying to relax and trying to catch up from that exhausting Masters on Sunday, Carlos. That was something else.
Yeah, we need some vacation from this. I don't know. They should have given like this week off to everybody. It's amazing. But anyway, thank you for joining us. It's always our pleasure to bring you the latest in the world golf news. Remember to like and subscribe so you can keep receiving all the updates from us. Thank you for joining us.